Have you ever wondered how the United States came to be? Picture this. Around 15,000 years before Christ, the first people set foot in what we now call the Americas. Over time, a vibrant tapestry of indigenous cultures took shape, each with its own unique traditions and ways of life. Fast forward to the late 15th century, and we see the European powers setting their sights on these lands. The British in particular established a strong foothold after 1600, planting their colonies along the Atlantic coast. These colonies grew and thrived, but beneath the surface, tensions were brewing. You see, by the 1760s, the British government began imposing a series of taxes on the colonies. The colonists, feeling unheard and unrepresented, fought back. This resistance culminated in events like the Boston Tea Party in 1773, which further stoked the flames of rebellion. And so, the seeds of revolution were sown, forever changing the course of the colonies. But how did these colonies transform into the United States we know today? In 1776, the Second Continental Congress in Philadelphia made a bold move. They declared the independence of the colonies, christening them the United States of America. This sparked the Revolutionary War, led by the steadfast General George Washington. Victory was hard-won, but eventually, the United States emerged triumphant. The Paris Peace Treaty of 1783 established the borders of this new sovereign state. But the fledgling nation needed more than borders, it needed a constitution. In 1789, a convention crafted a new constitution, instating a robust central government. But the story doesn't end there. The United States, eager to grow, purchased the Louisiana Territory from France in 1803. This move doubled the size of the nation, paving the way for the country's westward expansion. With a strong central government and an expanded territory, a new nation was taking shape. Yet the path to becoming a united nation was fraught with conflict and controversy. Central to the nation's growing pains was the notion of manifest destiny, a belief that the United States was destined to extend its reach from the Atlantic to the Pacific. This westward expansion was driven by a quest for inexpensive land, but it also fueled a contentious debate over slavery. As new territories were acquired, the question arose: would these lands uphold the institution of slavery or denounce it? This increasingly divisive issue led to a series of political and constitutional battles, temporarily resolved by a series of compromises. However, these agreements only served as a temporary band-aid, and the issue of slavery continued to fester. The election of Abraham Lincoln, a known opponent of slavery in 1860, ignited the fuse of the Civil War. Southern states, fearing the end of their agrarian way of life, seceded from the Union to form the Confederate States of America. The brutal conflict that ensued resulted in a Union victory and the abolition of slavery. In the wake of the war, the Reconstruction era saw the extension of legal and voting rights to freed male slaves. A stronger national government emerged, tasked explicitly with the protection of individual rights. Yet, this period was also marked by the rise of discriminatory Jim Crow laws in the South, a painful reminder of the nation's enduring struggle with racial inequality. Though marred by conflict, these struggles gave rise to a stronger, more united nation. From these humble beginnings, how then did the United States become a global powerhouse? The turn of the 20th century marked a watershed moment in the history of the United States. The nation was on the cusp of a dramatic transformation, fueled by a surge of entrepreneurship and industrialization. Factories sprung up across the country, churning out goods at an unprecedented rate. The spirit of innovation was palpable, with inventors and entrepreneurs leading the charge, turning ideas into industries. This period of explosive growth cemented the United States' position as the world's leading industrial power. But this era was not without its shadows. The Jim Crow laws, a series of discriminatory measures, cast a long and enduring shadow over the country. These laws, enacted by white Southern Democrats who had regained political power, were designed to maintain white supremacy and systematically disadvantaged African Americans. Legalized discrimination became the order of the day, denying most African Americans the opportunity to participate in public life. Yet against this backdrop of industrial might and social challenge, the country's identity was being shaped. The United States was not just growing in economic power, but in resilience and in the strength of its ideals. The nation was learning, sometimes painfully, the true meaning of its founding principles: liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness. Despite its challenges, the United States emerged as a dynamic, powerful nation, forever leaving its mark on the world stage.